Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my @Ignister Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for post-Duelist Advance. With the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set, we have the new Links layer @Ignister to work well with the additional @Ignister monsters we received in the Alliance Insight booster set. It may just be one card, but I always like updating the decks that I have a lot of fun with, so wanted to show you all the changes I've made to the deck since the last update from the one previous booster set. And then just some of the changes I've made to some of the other main deck monsters as well that I run in the deck. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and get started with the main deck monsters. For the @Ignister monsters, we're running 3 copies of Picari @Ignister. If this card's normal or special summon, you can add 1 Eye, Spell, or Trap from your deck to your hand, and then having the option to target another @Ignister monster you control, and its level becomes 4. This is meant to be able to use your other monsters to be able to Xyz summon into Light Dragon @Ignister with Picari, all the easier, but the main play is the search power of being able to add our different Eye spells, whether they be Eye Connect, our I Meet You, or even our Ignister Island. Having all of these searches available thanks to our Picari in the deck. More extension comes in the form of our Achichi @Ignister, which we're also running 3 copies of. If it's no more special summon, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Ignister monster from your deck to your hand, except for Achichi. So then this card can search out Picari, and then you can go into the Link 1 search of your Dark Infant @Ignister, which can then also search out Ignister Island, and then use the effect of Island to summon out the Picari that you searched off of Achichi, and then just continuing your search plays from there. We're also running 3 copies of Backup @Ignister. If you control a Cyberse monster that is special summoned from the extra deck, you can special summon this card from your hand. If it's no more special summon, you can add 1 Dark Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand, except for Backup @Ignister, then discard 1 card. So this card can also just be an extender because it can work off the normal summon as well, giving you the search for one of your other cards. You just have to discard a card from your hand afterwards, which then it can also just be a special summon once again if you have that Cyberse monster that was special summoned from the extra deck on the field for you to use for this card's extension into those monsters. So another great search off of Achichi if, let's say, you already have your spell set up with Picari as well. And we're running 3 copies of Links Layer @Ignister. I like 3 of this just so we can keep our search options open, because with Backup @Ignister, most of the times you want to search out your Wizard @Ignister, because this card has a target option for the graveyard to summon this card out, and then another monster in your graveyard. So the cards you sent off of Backup could be summoned back with this card, just by having a Cyberse monster that was special summoned from the X-Deck as well. Links Layer, if a Cyberse monster you control be used as link material for an @Ignister monster, this card in your hand can also be used, and then being able to discard a card to destroy a spell or trap on the field, or 2 if this card was on the field, which this card can be special summoned out with cards like our Eye Connect. So with this card as that added resource, it just gives you a monster to use as a resource in the hand for the @Ignister deck, which the Code Talker deck has had this power for a good while. So really awesome to be able to have this card as that added option as a resource to be able to use in the @Ignister deck as well, with the full power of it having @Ignister in the name. We're also running 1 copy of Bururu, having the send power, and then being able to summon back one of the materials used for the synchro play off of Bururu and the other monster back onto the field. 1 Doyon for the target of an @Ignister monster in your graveyard to add back to your hand, and then being able to target an Eye Spell or Trap in your graveyard to add back if it's used for the material of a link summon of a Cyberse monster. You can only use each effect of Doyon once per turn, but its recover power, just being able to add back off of this 1 monster. And then the 1 Wizard, as mentioned before, with the target power to special summon this card and then grab another monster in the graveyard. You can just continue your link plays, and sometimes this card is just what you need to be able to then go into your Link 5 Ally Code Talker @Ignister, needing 3 or more effect monsters. And then lastly, the 1 Gachiri @Ignister, being able to use this monster as a means to negate a Cyberse monster effect on the field and special summon this card out as well. And then the only non-Ignister monster we run for Cyber support is Dotscaper. It's a good 1 card extension because we can use Dotscaper to then go into Link Haribo and then use the special summon of Dotscaper back to go to Splash Mage. So we can just use Dotscaper as a 1 card combo to extend all the way into one of our bigger Link plays thanks to just this 1 card. And also for the main deck monsters, 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 3 copies of Fualos, and the 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, just as the hand trap lineup needed to compete in the competitive lineup against your opponent, especially if you go second, so you have plenty of responses against your opponent with each and every one of these cards. For the spells, we're running 3 copies copies of I Connect. This card works best with the dark attribute setup of your Agnister monsters. You reveal a Cybers monster in your hand, apply the effect based on the attribute of it. If it's dark, you special summon the reveal monster and add one level 4 or lower non-dark Cybers from your deck to your hand. So just search power on top of being able to get out those bigger resources. We can use this card to summon out Link Slayer and then have the 2 Spell or Trap Destruction at our disposal with this card. The 3 copies of I Meet You, which once again, the other effect of I Connect is if it's another attribute, you shuffle the reveal monster in the deck and add the Agnister monster with a different attribute from your deck to your hand. So giving out a specific search for one that you may also want to go for. I Meet You, you reveal the 2300 attack add Cybers monster in your extra deck, and then you can get the search for the specific attribute that matches with the 2300 attack point monster. So a wide variety of search based on just what you have set up in your extra deck for you to be able to use. The 1 copy of Ignister Island and the 1 Idol Reborn. For the 1 of counts, you only need 1 Ignister Island because it can be searched off of our Dark Infant. So then having this available search for us in the extra deck to then begin our additional plays as well, with the other spells being 3 copies of Signet Mining, just more search power for some particular Cybers monsters to then be able to send and search off of that resource, with the last of our spells being the 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent, just as another means if we go second against our opponent and they activate a monster effect, we can take their own monster or draw into more Agnister monsters with Island on the field to then be able to special summon out. And then the traps just being the 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence to run with the numbers along with our hand traps that we run in the deck as well. And then for the extra deck monsters, we have our boss monster, Ally Code Talker at Ignister, being able to special summon back 2300 attack point Cybers monsters from the graveyard as possible to zones this card points to. Just gives us more special summon resources to then be able to use, because then we use the Omni Negate of this card and being able to have this card gain 500 attack for each one it points to as well, putting it up to a pretty big 3800 attack, and then the Omni Negate power by distributing one of the Link monsters that this card points to as well, and then banishing the card that it negated. The 1 Dark Infant for the Ignister Island search as well. The Lingaribo for another generic level 4 lower Cybers monster to be able to go into this Link 1 monster. The 1 Cybers Wit Kid, because with the special summon into this, we can search out our tuners with the better tuner search, obviously being our backup at Ignister, to then be able to use. And then another Link 2 power up being our Splash Mage for more special summon options in the deck also. The 1 Update Jammer, just for the 1 better setup with our Access Code Talker. Decode Talker Heat Soul for the fire target with Achichi for our I Meet You. The Dark Templar for Doyon or Backup Secretary. The Transcode Talker is a better extender to then be able to go into our Access Code Talker. And then the bigger links being our Firewall Dragon and our Neo Tempest Terahertz as well for the Link Summon play, with our only non-link monsters being the 1 Cybers Desave Worm. This is for a send-of cost off of our Neo Tempest Terahertz to then be able to use for the banish to negate the activation while we control a link 4 higher Cybers monster. So we have an additional negate in the graveyard off of what we sent off of Terahertz. The 1 Wind Pegasus to go into with Bururu, and then the 1 Light Dragon as both additional 2300 attack point monsters as well that can be special summoned back from the graveyard off of Allied Code Talker at Ignister. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, as I mentioned before, Achichi can help to start a good number of those plays, summoning out our Achichi to then be able to use this card for the added search of our Picari. The Picari will add to our hand. We use the Achichi for a Link 1, using this card to then go into Dark Infant. Dark Infant can then search out our needed spell card via Ignister Island. We can then activate this card. Having no monsters in our main monster zone, we can special summon Picari. Picari will activate, giving us the search for our I Connect spell. Activating this card, we'll need either the reveal for a monster in hand. If you don't have the monster in your hand to reveal for this card, then instead you'll use I Meet You. So then this card you activate, you reveal from your extra deck the Dark Templar at Ignister. This will then allow you to search out the monster with the same attribute, will be the backup at Ignister. So then from here, you can either go for a Link 2 play, or you can summon out the backup since you have the Dark Infant. Backup will then be able to search out your Wizard at Ignister. Then you can go for the additional search for your added monsters as well, using the 3 to Link summon out your Dark Templar at Ignister. Then with this card, if a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you get 2 more resources. You can use the Wizard since you control Cybers that was special summoned from the extract, targeting your backup up at Ignister, summoning this card to the zone it points to, summoning out your wizard, using the effect of Dark Templar to give you back your Picari and your Achichi. Then you can use the backup to then use for a synchro play with Picari to get out your Wind Pegasus. And before that as well, for that added option as well for that play, you can go into one additional Link 2 monster being your added play as well. Those two monsters can then be used to go into our Link 2 Splash Mage, which then Splash Mage can be used to summon back. It doesn't have to be to one of the arrows, just summoning in defense, one of our additional adding Ignister monsters. Then those two monsters can be used for another Link 3 play. This one can get out Transcode Talker. Transcode can then summon back the Splash Mage as well to the field. So then from here, you can go into one additional Link 3 monster, which you just need two with the different attributes, which you have with Transcode and Splash Mage. So then you use these three monsters to be able to summon out your go-to boss monster, being Allied Code at Ignister. Then this card can summon back the three monsters of choice, being your 2300 attack point monsters, in the arrows to then have a fully powered up Allied Code Talker at Ignister on the field. If you need additional Link extension plays, that's where the Link Slayer comes in handy, because then this card just acts as one additional monster in your hand if need be for the Link summon of a Cybers monster. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Just a quick update, obviously, to the Ignister deck. One card definitely does help to extend more into the plays you may want to do with the deck. But as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.